All right, y'all. Welcome back, bit by bit, episode 6.
Bro, that rocking. Hey, when y'all see him rocking, get on his ass.
Hey, it's late at night, but we seen the 200 comments, so we gonna keep our word, drop a new episode, and shit. Yeah, what you gotta say?
Nothing. Just get on his ass for Rocky.
All right, I'm done rocking.
Yeah.
Maybe a slight rock, but
yeah,
I'm here.
But yeah, y'all dropped them 200 comments, so we giving y'all episode 6. We drop back to back, and which is good because the price is getting cooked right now. Mm-hmm. So I know some of y'all scared. Some of y'all need reassurance because you scary. So
yeah, we here.
Yeah, we here. We see them comments. I know some of y'all panicking, bro. People be on my Instagram comments like, "Bro, you ain't posted a few days, bro. What's going on?"
They be wanting them Bitcoin updates.
Yeah, like.
Why do you think that is, though?
Because, like, Bitcoin YouTubers, they be spamming, like, posting, bro. Like, did you see that the wide receiver from the Oakland Raiders post about Bitcoin? Like, nigga,
or like a random, it's this one brand where they have, like, Satoshi shirts.
Yeah.
But it's not anything Bitcoin related. Like, a guy just put Satoshi on a shirt, and the shirt is, like, $600.
It's like $600. Yeah.
And, like, an NBA player will wear it, and they'll be like, "Do you see LeBron is for Bitcoin?" Just because he's just wearing some random.
Yeah, and you're like, nah, they're just shopping with a brand, trying to be fly.
Exactly.
So I think a lot of those other YouTube pages, they spam any type of update for views, but it's all for views. Mm-hmm. And the way that we try to like tell y'all that we're trying to do this is we're trying to actually like, if you watch this series, episode 1 through 6. That you learn something.
Yeah.
You got what I'm saying? Like the whole purpose of all this is that you learn something. And if you aren't learning nothing from it, then like we're not just gonna
be dropping just to drop.
Yeah, and giving you every little update and give you every 5 minutes this person did this. Like, hey bro, you actually need to learn, because I think on crypto Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, that there's this thing called like infotainment, where it seems like it's information, but in reality it's like entertainment. Yeah, let's get it going crazy. But it's really entertainment, you know what I mean? And it's what the audience doesn't realize is the purpose of all this is just to draw views. Yeah. So they're willing to say anything, do it, and you're like, hey bro, we not about to fall into that.
I've been seeing a lot of those YouTubers where like, I mean, I'm subscribed to a few, but I don't really tap in on the daily, because they'll just, if you like really sit down and look, they're just recycling the same topics over and over and over and over. And not to like be shitting on anybody or like put anybody down for what they're doing. But like a lot of, I feel like in the Bitcoin space, you'll see a lot of just, is Bitcoin decentralized? And you're like, isn't that topic have been covered
a million times?
A million times, where they'll say,
they'll be like, did you notice that this actor followed Bitcoin news today?
Yeah.
8-minute video. You like, hey, bro, exactly. Y'all spamming this shit, bro.
Because I just feel like there's a lot to talk about Bitcoin, but like, how much new things can you teach somebody? Yeah. And I feel like eventually when we cover enough topics and we feel like, okay, y'all should know everything about Bitcoin. We've done so many episodes. We can probably bring people on the show, let people tap into the show, like random guests and maybe random people from Twitter. Send questions that they have, do a Q&A. Like we have like a lot of different things we can do, but it's not going to be a thing where we're just dropping the same knowledge every single day.
And also we need to set the foundation for the education. Like that's why you look, I would say this about like me posting on social media and stuff is like 3-4 years ago, like when I really started going down this rabbit hole, I was posting all the books. Like we'll tell y'all like Broken Money, Price of Tomorrow, Hidden Cost of Money, Fiat Ruins Everything, Gradually and Subtly. Like we'll tell you all the books or whatever. We'll tell you guys like, hey, watch these docuseries. It kind of explains how the Federal Reserve works, how our government got, how we implemented the Federal Reserve, how we came off of the gold standard, like all these things, right? Mm-hmm. So we give out this education, right? So I'm giving out this education as I'm going deeper down the Bitcoin rabbit hole. And then So it's taking my time away from social media because I'm like reading or learning or like, you know what I mean? And then you got your real life to live and stuff.
Yeah.
But then when time goes on and you like post about something and then you realize like it kind of hits you, you're like, oh, didn't read the books.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You're like assuming that they're growing with you. You're like, hey, all right, y'all, I'm reading this. And then 6 months later, when you go to explain a concept that was, you know, talked about in this book or during this research or whatever, and then you start to realize like, man, there's a lot of audience. Like because to certain people, like I'm just a random guy and you follow 1,000 random guys. So you're not going to sit and take this guy's information more serious than everybody else. So you start to realize like, oh, like you kind of got to do the required readings to keep up with the knowledge or to keep up with the, you know, information. And I don't want people just to trust us blindly and just don't just go buy Bitcoin because we said buy Bitcoin, because OJ said buy Bitcoin, because I said you got to do the knowledge. And we keep saying this because the same way that Bitcoin is proof of work, your life got to be proof of work. You got to go learn. You have to go read. You have to go research. So when the price drops to 86,000, you're not freaking out or you're not wondering what Chris or OJ think about this.
Yeah, that's what I was even gonna say. Like reading the books, watching all the videos that we recommend will really deepen your knowledge and give you your conviction to the point where like you have so much conviction to the point where there's nothing anybody can tell you. No price drops, 20% drops will shake you out to the point where you feel like you need to go and watch something to grab more conviction, ask people what they think, because as I started learning more things and I just got a little older, I stopped even reading comments or stopped looking for people's opinions or really asking people, should I be doing this?
Yeah.
I just grabbed my own conviction through knowledge,
reading
and different things.
Knowledge and preparation, it kind of like it allows you to rely on your own self.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So for instance, you know how like I've been buying MicroStrategy. I've been leading people in the Wealth Squad to buy MicroStrategy. Mm-hmm. So today, you know, MicroStrategy is getting hit.
Yeah.
So today, somebody was like, one of my posts from 3 months ago when I was like, hey, I'm buying MicroStrategy. They were like, oh, this isn't turning out good, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like,
somebody in the Wealth Squad said that?
Nah, there's somebody on Instagram or whatever, right? And I'm just even thinking about the concept of investing your money, how this is like investing your money is a long-term game, long-term strategy, right? Mm-hmm. Social media is like daily posting. Here's what I'm doing every 5 minutes, every 5 seconds, right? So when buddy goes like, oh, this isn't working out or this, you know, this isn't aging well. And you say, you can't talk about an investment aging in 3 months.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? It's 3 months long. You know what I'm saying?
What investment is turning out in 3 months?
Yeah, and you start to realize, you're like, but you would kind of understand that if you did the work. And you would understand like there's like global liquidity cycles and you know what I mean? Like there's all these things that happen and it takes time to play out. And you understand that because you do the knowledge. But when you sit on social media and people want to update every 5 minutes, like, hey, good morning, guys. Just to let you know, I didn't sell any of my MicroStrategy.
Yeah. Like, why do you need somebody else? What they're doing with their money?
Do the knowledge, bro.
What random new news comes out? Like, even off camera, you remember we were talking about how people just chase narratives or they're almost horny for narratives. Like, not that's facts, bro. Like, and this is not you're only right. In the altcoin space. I feel like in the Bitcoin space, people do that too.
Why did the price move?
Yeah.
Why? What's going on? Why did the price move, bro? More sellers sold than more buyers bought.
Mm-hmm. They're always chasing narratives, or like all the people were getting horny over the strategic reserve. Like I had put something on Twitter saying like, the government needs Bitcoin more than Bitcoin needs the government.
Same thing with corporations.
Yep.
Corporations need Bitcoin more than Bitcoin needs any corporation. Mm-hmm. Well, I think a big part of this is, and maybe we've mentioned this before, is that some people see it's two big bubbles, right? Like let's imagine you draw two big circles on a piece of paper on a whiteboard or whatever. One is the Bitcoin standard, and the other is the fiat system, right? Okay, so in the fiat system, crypto is a part of fiat currency.
Yeah.
Right? Currency, like we already talked about the difference between currency and money, right? Mm-hmm. Currency that's backed by nothing.
Yeah.
There's an issuer and it's backed by nothing, right? That's what crypto is, not Bitcoin, crypto, right? So crypto is a part of the fiat system, right? And then you have the Bitcoin system, right? And what people don't see is that Bitcoin is its own system.
Yeah.
So even when, like today, when the Bitcoin price falls, the Bitcoin dollar price falls to $86,000. Let's say you're watching this and you have 5 Bitcoin, and you wake up in the morning and you check your I don't know, ledger or whatever, and you still have 5 Bitcoin. Bitcoin didn't crash.
Yeah.
You had 5 Bitcoin and you still have 5 Bitcoin, right? So that's because you see things over here in this bubble, like on the Bitcoin standard. Yeah. What you're doing is you're confusing the two systems, right? So Bitcoin didn't crash. The US dollar price of a Bitcoin crash, but they're two completely different systems. If I had 100 Bitcoin, I woke up today and I still had 100 Bitcoin, like, you get what I'm saying? So this fiat system doesn't, the Bitcoin standard doesn't need the fiat system, right? Because eventually all these prices will be irrelevant, because like how you'll even say like, oh, it's $86,000 for a Bitcoin. And you're like, okay, what about a peso? What about a pound? What about a yen? What about the euro? All these different currencies are measuring how much one Bitcoin is. But in the Bitcoin space, you see it as one Bitcoin is one Bitcoin, right? So if you can truly grasp that concept, like you understand that Bitcoin didn't crash, one Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin. If you truly see it that way, there's no way you won't be able to see that the US dollar price of Bitcoin going down as a good thing.
Yeah.
Because then you're like, I'm able to get more sats per dollar, right? I'm able to get it. No different than like going to the store and buying something, right? Yeah. If you can get, I don't know, a pack of boxers for $20 and now they're on sale 2 for $20, you would see that as a discount. You would see that as a good thing. Yeah. Okay, now I'm able to get double the amount of boxers for the same, $20. Is no different when you're investing, right? Yeah. So when the price of the US dollar price of Bitcoin falls, you're able to get more Satoshis for the same amount of money. Yeah. So if you put in $500 a week and you get X amount of Satoshis and then the price falls, you put that same $500 in, now you're able to get more Satoshis.
Yeah. So have you heard of the, the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index?
Yeah.
You see how it's like extreme fear right now?
Yeah.
That shit should be extreme greed right now.
Not fact.
Like, you're telling me it's cheaper to buy more Bitcoin and everybody's fearful. And then you also want to be buying when everybody's fearful, because that's how you get good entries, good prices, good dip buys. Is when the price pulls back.
Yeah.
That's the time.
Yeah, that's your time to unload. And what's so crazy is everybody knows that the common advice is buy high, sell low. I mean, buy low, sell high, right? But what everybody does is they buy high and they sell low. Yep. They buy high when it's at 109, and then when it falls to 86, now they panic and sell. You're like, you're better off just buying tickets to a basketball game.
Fact.
You know what I mean? Like, or just put your money on Javante Tank Davis fight this weekend. You're not investing, bro.
You know what's funny? You stop getting the "is it too late" when the price is consolidating or pulling back a little bit.
Yeah, even though it's the same asset.
Yeah, people always be like, they only ask, "Is it too late?" when the price is running. Like, imagine if we would have went to like from 109 to 125. You would have had so many, "Is it too late? Should I buy right now?" But those people never hit you up when it's consolidating or the price is pulling back.
Yo, you see that meme where it was like Bitcoin at 109, like, damn, I missed my spot, and the Bitcoin at 86, and the dude's like, I'm glad I ain't buy that shit.
Yeah.
That's how it go, man. Like, but anyway, the way that we speak like this is how we really think, and we hope that y'all get the understanding that we do not care, bro. We're not going back to the dollar system. You know what I mean? So like, but we said this in one of our episodes. You have to ask yourself, you watching this, you got to ask yourself, is it your goal to use Bitcoin to get more dollars, or is it your goal to use dollars to get more Bitcoin? Right? Because if it's your goal to use Bitcoin to get more dollars and the US dollar price of Bitcoin is falling, you're panicking. Yeah. Because you're like, oh, I thought I was supposed to get more dollars. You know what I mean? But I'm getting less dollars because the dollar price is falling. Like, what should I do? Is this still my strategy? That's why people be panicking, because they don't understand the thesis of their own damn investments. You know what I'm saying? But if your strategy or your path out is to use your dollars to get more Bitcoin, and then the dollar price goes down, well, now you can get more Bitcoin. Kind of common sense to me, but
I feel like the amount of people who put so much money or a big part of their net worth in some type of investment or savings, and they don't understand that instrument, is kind of like ridiculous. Yeah. You would think like me and you, we've deep dived. I'm sure there's some people watching this who have like truly deep dive in what they invest in, what they believe in. But there is the contrary of people who they know very surface level things about what they're like investing in or where they store their money, and they'll just blast that with everything they got. You're just like, facts. You should know the ins and outs. You should be able to explain it to me like I'm a fifth grader. But every time you ask people who move like that, oh, explain this or explain that, they just can't do that.
And another thing too is like, once you do the knowledge, then you'll realize you won't even need to rely on us. So if we come on Bit by Bit episode 7, the last episode, and we say, yo, me and OJ changed our minds about Bitcoin, we're selling all our Bitcoin, and then you go sell all your Bitcoin, instead of being like, they're tripping, I did my research, I know what I got. You got what I'm saying? This is why like some people can be Bitcoiners and then they can flip and they can go, do their own thing. And the true Bitcoiners are like, yeah, you're tripping. Or YouTubers can make YouTube like, I sold all my Bitcoin. And there's going to be some people are like, okay, I'm going to follow you.
Follow and sell.
And there's going to be some people are like, you stupid as hell.
You know what's funny? I forgot the YouTuber who did that. They sold all their Bitcoin. It was like, I think when Bitcoin ran up to like 40 something, it was like 48K.
Oh, it's
I forgot his name.
Buddy with the Indian dude.
Yeah.
It was like when he hit 70, I think. Then he was like, I'm out, blah blah. And there were some people getting on his ass like, yo, this ain't gonna age well. But that's what we want y'all to see. We want you guys to do the knowledge yourself. So even if we go rogue and we're like, no, we're changing our mind and we're actually going to go on the Solana train, that y'all will know Chris is making a mistake because Solana isn't, like proof of work, and you understand what the concept of proof of work is, right? Or Solana isn't decentralized, or whatever the case is. You'll be able to spot my flaws based on the knowledge you've done. So don't look at me as like the lead man. You're going to take my word for how you're going to maintain your wealth, right? Or don't take OJ's word. Take our word to do the knowledge. We're here to lead you to the knowledge, right? And the more knowledge you do, then the more conviction you'll have, right? And then therefore you won't need us anymore. You won't need Michael Saylor anymore. You won't need, because eventually, like how we were saying today, we were talking about in the car today, we were about to go hoop, and I was telling him like, hey, I've been unfollowing a lot of Bitcoiners. Like, people don't be talking about nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm looking for the people who are deep diving into like, yo, this is how the IMF works, or like, this is how, the Federal Reserve, like, or here's like this, maybe like you did your research on, you read like, I don't know, Secrets of the Economic Hitman. I'm looking for those people who have deep knowledge, not surface level knowledge, or not infotainment, right? I don't want to follow the infotainment people. I don't want to follow the surface level knowledge. You're just regurgitating some shit other people, said. I'm looking for like individual independent thoughts when you're like, this is the way I see it. Because the dope thing about Bitcoin is that there's so many different people from so many walks of life who Bitcoin is helping, right? So it could be like, hey, there's some woman in Afghanistan who Bitcoin's helping this way. There's some dude building a tech company in Africa, Bitcoin's helping them this way. There's some nigga in Philly, Bitcoin is helping him this way. There's Saquon Barkley, the running back for the Super Bowl champ. This is how Bitcoin's helping him. There's a billionaire who needs to stash their corporate treasuries, and Bitcoin's helping all these individual people. And I'm like, those are the people I'm looking for. You know what I mean? Like, So not just people regurgitating things, not truly understanding.
You can even tell the regurgitation because everybody's gonna talk differently about Bitcoin because, as you're saying, like it affects people in different ways. Like a Saquon Barkley may only be able to tell you based off his experience. Maybe he won't be able to super deep dive into the economics and everything side of it, but he can tell you this is how Bitcoin is changing my life and this is how I'm going to present myself on the internet talking about it. Like it may not sound like person X or person Z, but I do understand like you're not trying to hear the people where they just went and got this from the next 30 people have been saying the same thing.
And that's why a lot of people don't stand out on social media, by the way, is because they're not telling their story. They're not being them. You know what I'm saying? So what else?
I was even gonna say like just telling people to just live your truth and be about like what you're learning, like apply it into your real life because like me and him, like we live our life on a Bitcoin standard. It's not like we're getting on, just set up these two colorful mics, put up a camera, put some drop back here, and we're just read a few books and like, all right, let's just talk and tell people about Bitcoin. Cause
now we really like this.
Like we really like this is our like day to day, like chilling, not really spending much, buying Bitcoin, like like when we don't hold any dollars, like we dead ass don't have any. Well, I don't know if you do, but I don't really.
You know damn well I don't got no dollars.
I don't have none.
He know damn well I don't got no Diddy dollars.
People don't really. I don't think people grasp when we say we don't have no dollars. I think they think like, oh, you don't have no dollars, just kind of brush over your head. But it's like, no, dead ass. If I open my bank account and like flip that hoe
you be like, oh shit.
Yeah, like there ain't no dollars in there.
Like I was saying earlier about those two bubbles, those two different systems, right? And I did like around social media about this, but certain things that make sense in the fiat world don't make sense in the Bitcoin world, and certain things in the Bitcoin standard don't make sense in the fiat world, right? Like if you live in the fiat world and you don't have no dollars, you're broke. You live in the Bitcoin standard, you don't have no dollars. Like I don't care how much. I'm not measuring my wealth by how many dollars I have, so I don't care that I don't have any dollars, bro. You got what I'm saying? Like I'm not trying to hold something they can manipulate me. Like 20% of all the wealth all the money in America was printed during COVID. 20%, right? You're like, bro, this is crazy. This is like, imagine somebody's been saving up in cash, and then boom, their cash just instantly loses 20% of its purchasing power because a few people in Washington, D.C. signed their name. You know what I mean? Like they just stole all that life energy from you. Again, you need to look at your wealth and your money as your life energy because that's what it is.
Yeah, that shit is so crazy. And even, I get like a lot of, and I know you get a lot of questions of people saying like, okay, well, you guys are living on a Bitcoin standard. You only own Bitcoin. You're 100% of your net worth's in Bitcoin. You always are buying Bitcoin. You don't have any dollars. So how does your life work? How's your lights on? How do you have gas in your car?
Barely.
No, but like you have to move on how comfortable you are, like how far you can stretch things. Because I can say mine first, you can go after. But like how I make it work in my day-to-day life is I write down all my bills. I know roughly how much do I spend on food a week. What all do I have to pay for the month? And I write that down. And I know the dates on when everything's due. And I know when I'm paid. So I work around when I'm paid, when everything's due. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to subtract let's say the check comes in, I know what my bills are. I'm going to subtract the bills from that. And I'm going to take the rest and buy Bitcoin. And I'll probably leave myself with like, I don't know, maybe $100. But with me, my day-to-day, I don't do many day-to-day things. My life doesn't cost me anything. But your life may cost you more, so you may stretch that number to a different amount.
What about when you have like we have a trip coming up in a month and some change? Like, okay, so how do you budget for a vacation or something?
So that's a good question. So basically what I do is I know roughly, okay, how much is my ticket, lounging, and money to carry while I'm out there. I'll just not buy as much Bitcoin.
You just pull back from how much Bitcoin you're buying.
Exactly. That's
in order to stack up for the event.
Yeah, because people think that, okay, you're buying all you're using all your money to buy Bitcoin. How do you have money to eat? How do you have money it's like, bro, like I'm not spending every last dollar I have on I have to pay, my bills and feed myself first, but the rest of it is going to Bitcoin. It's not like I'm out partying, I'm out buying new shoes, I'm buying a new car, I'm going here and there doing this and that. It's just I'm like pulling back on my life and just buying Bitcoin.
Does it feel like a sacrifice or does it feel more natural?
At first, it felt like a sacrifice. Like, the first few months, as I got more serious, it felt like a sacrifice. But now it's like secondhand nature. Yeah. Like now, my day to day don't really feel like I'm cutting anything back because that's like my real day to day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what about you? What does it look like for you?
All right. So this is how it looks like me living on a Bitcoin standard. I'll just put everything on a credit card. Like I gotta. I don't know, pay the light bill, credit card, gas bill, credit card, pay the bill at the other house, credit card. You know what I mean? I just put everything on a credit card. And then when the credit card is due, then I'll take, some money from whatever paycheck that I have coming in, and I'll just pay the credit card off in full, right? And then so maybe, let's say, I don't know, like my credit card balance for the month is $20,000, right? And I have $20,000 coming, 10 today, 10 tomorrow. Okay, on those 2 days, I probably won't buy Bitcoin, right? I'll just take 10 from this paycheck, 10 from that paycheck. I'll pay my credit card bill, and then on Friday, I'm right back to buying Bitcoin. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. So I'll do the same thing where I'm preparing to pay for something, but what I'm preparing to pay is just this one bill, which is my credit card bill. Yeah. All my bills on a day-to-day, car insurance, all that good stuff is all auto pay on a credit card. So that's what I do. So I just use the bank's money to pay for everything, and then when that bill is coming due, when it's coming due, I'll just pay it in full, right?
Would you recommend somebody to get on this level, or would you more so recommend slowly but surely, do what you're comfortable with? Or like, let's say somebody's telling you, I want to get into Bitcoin. How should I do it? How much should I be buying? How should my life look? Yeah,
I would say do whatever's sustainable, right? So hypothetically, let's say you make $10,000 a month or $5,000 a month, whatever, right? And let's say let's go in the scenario where you make $5,000 a month. Putting $1,000 a month away into Bitcoin, right? So you got $4,000 to pay all your bills and live your life. And let's say that $1,000 that's missing, well, really is invested, doesn't bother you, right? You can still go hang out with your friends. You can still go to a restaurant, take your girl out, go whatever it is that you do. That's sustainable. That's healthy, right? Somebody else might make $5,000 a month, and them putting $1,000 away is like, damn, I kind of needed that. And then they're like, well, maybe Bitcoin will go up a little bit, and then I can sell out some of it and pay my bills. But then when Bitcoin goes down, like it went down today, then you're like, shit. Yep. Now I caught myself in an uncomfortable situation because I was hoping that money went up so then I can sell out and pay my bills. Even though they make the same amount of money and they're trying to put away the same amount per month, one person's comfortable and one person is uncomfortable, right? Yeah. So I would say do what's sustainable, right? So like for you, you could put 70% of, the money that you make away, and that's comfortable for you, right? So for somebody here watching this, it might be 10%, but if that's sustainable, if you could do that for 5 years, do it. If you could do what you're doing for 5 years, do it. If I could do it, because it's in order to build this like nest egg of money, or like that fuck you money where you're like, bro, I'm not participating in society in any way, shape, or form that I don't want to. You're going to need a lot of money. And in order to get that lot of money, right, especially get a lot of money invested, you're going to have to do something for a long time. If you run a business, you're going to have to get paid, downplay your lifestyle, invest all your profits away, either back into the business or into the markets or whatever, but you're going to have to do that for a long time. Investing is not a one-time thing. There's a lot of people that are like, all right, bro, well, I bought Bitcoin, I bought $500 like 6 months ago. It's worth like 620 now, but I don't see how this is like benefiting me. And you're like, nigga, you bought that shit once.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you really, I wake up every day and buy it.
Yeah, it's a year's journey.
Yeah, it's like it's a long journey, bro, because in order for you to get that nest egg that you want, that's going to allow you to buy your freedom, buy the freedom for your family members, for your children, all that stuff, it takes a while to play out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you 23 years old, bro, like, and you're well on your way. You're well ahead of where I was when I was 23 years old. But to get to where you're going, maybe you don't exactly get there until you're 40. Like, I don't even think I'm there. You got what I'm saying? Like, and I'm, like, I'm decent, but I don't even think I'm there. So I still, at this point, realize, like, I'm playing a long game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still playing a long game versus celebrating too early or whatever. So anyway, I'll go back to the point. The point is, you do what's sustainable. Because it's the consistency that gets you paid. It's the consistency that takes you to the top. It's the consistency and the compounding, right? So it's not like, okay, whoop-de-doo, you put away, $1,000 one time, you put away $25,000 one time. Like, bro, that shit gotta be first nature. Like
when I started, when I first started, like, the numbers are a little smaller because you just now started. Maybe your stockpile of money that you have isn't that high, or, well, I'm storing it in Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin that you have isn't that much. But as you just keep being consistent month over month, month over month, month over month, and like a year and a half, 2 goes by, and you go and look in your portfolio, like, wow, I've been at this for 2 years. And like, this is everything that I've accumulated by just sitting back, chilling, and just staying consistent. I was even going to say that I feel like Bitcoin forces you to even cut back on things. Like, with the example of the guy, he maybe makes 10,000, but 1,000 might be too much for him. Like, that means that your monthly overhead is too high. It forces you to go, let me look where I can cut back. Like, maybe I shouldn't be going out as much. Maybe I shouldn't be, maybe I need to downsize my apartment or my house, or maybe I need to sell my car, get a cheaper car, like, just to make this work. So that's how it worked personally for me. My bills and my day-to-days they've never really been that much, but when I got on a Bitcoin standard, I even dropped them down even lower than what they actually were. So
like, bro, I used to buy a new car every year. I ain't bought a new car since, I think, 2021, 2022 is my last time I bought a car. I ain't bought a car in years. You know what I mean? Because the same way you see, like I say, like, my low end target for Bitcoin is $1 million, right? So that's a 10x from now. So that means every single thing that I would buy, I need to consider the opportunity cost. The opportunity cost is 10x. You go buy a $70,000 Mercedes that costs you $700,000, right? So when he's saying that, like, you got to make sacrifices or you got to rearrange things, it's not by force. It becomes out of common sense. Like, talk about that, how, like, things just stop making sense. Like, in the fiat world, like, expensive clothes, like, this shit just stops making sense.
Once you go further and further down this rabbit hole, you start realizing opportunity costs. Like, I can even tell you a personal story of mine, like, borrowing people money, right? So it's been times where, like, way in the past where I'll borrow somebody money that I'm going to use to buy Bitcoin, and they don't pay you the money back, right? And somebody who doesn't really understand Bitcoin, they don't understand opportunity costs. So what I borrowed you the money in that specific moment, let's say at that time the Bitcoin price was 20,000, 25,000 at this time, right? So I had $5,000 that I was gonna buy Bitcoin. I had just got a paycheck, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna use this $5,000. I'm gonna buy Bitcoin with it, right? So then I lend them the money, and then they're telling me that, oh, I'll give you your money back like a week or so. It's always like a short period of time, right? So I lend them.
When you need that money back, that's a crazy. Go ahead.
I lend them the money. And then a week goes by, Don't get my money. A year goes by, still haven't got my money.
But Bitcoin is growing.
Bitcoin is growing, right? So
your 5 would have been 20.
Yeah. So at this let's say at the peak, 100 or so thousand, my 5 would have been a 20 piece, right?
Yeah.
20,000. So basically, I just gave you $20,000, but in the fiat world, to them it's like, oh no, you gave me 5,000, but like let's say,
or it costs you 15 grand to loan them 5.
So like let's say,
it's crazy
how you're saying in like the Bitcoin standard and a fiat standard. So let's say I'm borrowing you 5 grand, but I'm gonna use it to buy Bitcoin, and let's say with 5 grand I can get 0.05 Bitcoin. Let's say Bitcoin is 100 grand, and I can get 0.05 Bitcoin. You'll be trying to give me 5 grand back, but really I want 0.05 Bitcoin back.
There you go. That's actually really important.
Yeah.
If I leave your ass,
because like let's say Bitcoin,
I leave your ass 1 Bitcoin. Then I'll take the downside too.
Yeah.
Right. If I leave you 1
Bitcoin
and Bitcoin fall from 86 to 30, just give me my Bitcoin, bro. Because I don't care about the USD price, right? But if Bitcoin go to an M, hey, give me my Bitcoin, bro. I don't care about the dollar price.
Understand, like, okay, I'm gonna give you the fiat. No, I want the point, because like let's say I gave you the 5, it was 0.05 Bitcoin. Like, okay, we agree. You're gonna give me 0.05 Bitcoin back,
even if you're not into Bitcoin.
Yeah, even if you're not,
you about to convert that shit,
right? And they agree. And let's say they decide to, fuck this guy. I'm gonna take you decide, fuck this guy. I'm gonna take forever to give it. 3 years go by, right?
Yeah.
We sign a contract. 3 years. Bitcoin's price 850,000.
Yeah.
Nigga, you better do that divide.
Put that house up for sale.
You better put that.
All because you wanted 5 grand.
All because you wanted.
Nah, that's funny.
But yeah, even going back to the point, like you just also with just things in general, like clothes, you just start saying like, okay, I can buy this $300-$400 t-shirt in a year or so. I was gonna use that money to buy Bitcoin for the t-shirt. In a year or so, the Bitcoin price could have doubled by now. So this t-shirt is costing me. Is this really an $800 t-shirt? Is this a $600? No, it's not. Like even with you were saying with the cars, you don't buy a new car every year. Like, let's say you're not doing that because you understand the opportunity cost. You buy an $80,000 car, Bitcoin price 3x. Was that $80,000 car worth $250,000 to you?
No, it's gonna be worth $15,000 in 3 years.
Yeah,
it's going to depreciate like crazy. Oh, well, so what I was going to say about lending people money is once I lend somebody money, I consider that gone.
Not me. I need that shit back, bro.
I don't blame you, though. I don't blame you. But, nah, I consider that gone. Like, because you know what, bro? If anybody ever pays me back, I'm shocked. I'm shocked. I almost feel like what, for me? all this for me? Nigga, that's your money, bro.
People be trying to make you seem like you begging to get your shit back.
Damn, bro, I didn't know it was that serious.
Like, bro, I thought you had it. Like, nigga, give me my money back.
Nah, I consider that zap, nigga, vaporized. Yeah, so that's one part. And then 2, so I don't even consider lending people money. If somebody just like needs something, I just send it to them or whatever, but I never expected to come back. And then the second thing I was going to say, about the opportunity cost. There's this like game I play in my mind, bro, when it's time to shop for something, right? Mm-hmm. I assume that whoever's selling it to me knows about Bitcoin, right? And they want to extract my dollars from me so they can go buy more Bitcoin, right? Mm-hmm. So I'll be thinking like, bro, really want me to buy this? Bro, want me to buy this $150,000 car so he can go get 1.5 Bitcoin, or I could just go get the 1.5 Bitcoin. Nah, bro, I don't even want that car no more. I don't want that jewelry no more. I don't want the car. I don't want none of that stuff because like. Obviously, we still live our lives. Y'all see us on Instagram and stuff. We still fly people. We still, you know what I mean? But it's just like, you just slow it all the way
or you
down.
Get the things you really want.
Yeah, or you just really like, I really like this watch, or I really like this shirt, or, you just become very particular, and then stuff starts having meaning. You know what I mean? Because you're like, if I'm swapping my time for a necklace, hopefully it's a good necklace. You know what I mean? Like I'm not just buying shit just to be buying it or whatever. But the most important thing is your freedom and options. You know what I mean? And quality, things like that, man. What else you got on that list?
All right. I guess we could just wrap up with this last topic. We didn't want to make this too bombarding, a 2-hour episode, but cold storing your Bitcoin. I get a lot of messages about that. Pretty sure you do.
Yeah.
Too. I know you made a video on it. Do you want to just
all right,
show them how, and then we can make a video of how to set up a cold card. We probably can't do it right now, but
we owe that to y'all. Yeah. We'll make a video screen record on my computer of me setting up a cold card. All right, cold storage. Let's talk about this. All right, so if bro has an exchange where he's selling Bitcoin, right, and the OJ exchange. So this could be Coinbase. It could be crypto.com, it could be Kraken, it could be Cash App, wherever, right? Let's just say for this example, he has his own exchange called, the OJ exchange. So if I'm buying, so I sign up with the OJ exchange, right? And I buy $10,000 worth of Bitcoin, right? What I'm doing is I'm trusting that he turns and actually goes against the Bitcoin, or that he has the Bitcoin specifically for me, right? That's what I'm trusting that he's doing. Now, that's a lot of trust. Off top, that's already a lot. Yeah, you might run off, right? Or another thing is, because think about it, I'm not calling him every day to say, hey, do you have my Bitcoin? Can you prove it, right? The way that he's going to prove it to me is that his app is going to show that I have one Bitcoin, right? But what is it? It's an app. You can make an app say anything. You can make your app say that I have 1 million Bitcoin and now I'm the richest person in the world. But if I can't hit withdraw, it doesn't matter, right? So what happens is we start blindly trusting these exchanges, but we wake up and we check and we be like, yeah, look, see, Coinbase says I have 1 Bitcoin. You're like, but how do you know you have it? You have to move it. You know what I'm saying? Or else it's just a computer telling you some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It'd be like if you go to the bank or if you check your bank app and it says you have $1 million, but then when you go to Kroger to buy some bananas, it gets declined.
Yeah.
What good is it to have it on the bank app if you can't actually, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, so that would be me storing my Bitcoin with him. And the problem with that is then I have to trust him. Right. And so, for example, for you guys who know, like FTX was a very large exchange and they went bust. What happened with that is that, let's say it was the OJ exchange that went bust. I give him my 10,000, he goes and trades it. Right. And if he
they may not know what trades it means.
Like they go either lend it out to people or they go buy fuck coin because it was a bull market. Everything was going up. Maybe they go buy some Ethereum. Maybe they lend it to their partner. Well, they would send it to their other partner and their partners would trade it, go buy other crypto, go lend it for profit, blah, blah, blah. Right. So because think about this, they have an incentive to do so. If I give you 10 grand, you trade around your 10 grand because you have a team of traders, your 10 turns into 20. Then you're like, all right, I got 10 for Chris and we got 10 in profit. That works until it doesn't. But mind you, they have billions, 50, 60 billion dollars that they're now. So you're just like, I bought Bitcoin with you, hold the Bitcoin until I need it. But they're like, bro, we got all this money sitting right here. Let's go try to make some money with it. So then they're off trading it, blah, blah, blah. Then they end up losing it. Right. So then what happens when they lose is everybody starts trying to hit withdraw and they don't have enough Bitcoin to actually service people. Right. Okay. So technically speaking, if I bought on his exchange or I bought on Binance or I bought on Coinbase or whatever, right? The Bitcoin that I buy on Coinbase, the Bitcoin that I buy on Robinhood is not my Bitcoin because I don't have
the keys to it.
The private keys, right? I don't have the private keys. So there's a public key and there's a private key, right? A public key would be like somebody having the address to your house, right? Okay, they know where you live. They know where you live. Whoop-de-doo. Private key would be like them having the key to the front door, right? So when you have the Bitcoin, let's say like when you have the Bitcoin, you have a public key, or the public key could also be 12 to 24 words, right? So if you use a device like a cold card, they give you those 12 to 24 words, right? That is your private, that's you having access to the Bitcoin, right? That's your Bitcoin. If you don't have the secret phrase, it's not your Bitcoin. If you don't have the keys to the front door, that's not your house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All right. So when you use like a cold card or whatever, they generate this for you. They don't know it, but they just generate it for you. The device generates it for you. So now you actually own and control your Bitcoin, right? There's a responsibility in that. Because of like the modern banking system and stuff, people are like used to like somebody else taking care of their money. You know what I'm saying? Like, hell, that's your money. Like, if y'all can't tell, I have a very intimate relationship with wealth because I see my wealth as my time. You know what I'm saying? So letting somebody control your wealth would be like letting them like spend your time, or trusting them with your time or whatever. So I think we kind of getting used to like, oh, it's at the bank, or it's over here, it's over there, right? But it makes sense, or it did make sense for a long time, because if you just got a bunch of money sitting in your house, somebody gonna run in your shit. Or if you got a bunch of gold, somebody gonna run in your shit. You know what I'm saying? So you're like, nah, I'm gonna keep it at the bank so then nobody comes and takes that shit from me. But now you're able to store your wealth in your head. Right. So if you're just walking in the mall, for example, you don't know who has Bitcoin, who doesn't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so you're like picking a random person and trying to attack them, hoping they got Bitcoin. Like, okay, but maybe one of the people do have Bitcoin, but they only have so little of it. It was worthless. Now you're in jail for nothing. Right. So anyways, going back to what I was saying. So when you use these devices, you actually take control of your Bitcoin. You own the Bitcoin, right? So what people will say the Bitcoin space is that your Bitcoin is on the cold card, or your Bitcoin is on the ledger, but your Bitcoin isn't on anywhere. Your Bitcoin just sits in cyberspace, right? But that gives you the way to control it. So even if you guys hear me say, oh, my Bitcoin's on the cold card or my Bitcoin's on the ledger, it's technically not on there, right?
You just have the keys
to it. Right? Now, let's say I have like a cold card, right? And I have some Bitcoin on there. And then let's say OJ spills water on it, right? And now it's destroyed and blah, blah, blah. My Bitcoin isn't gone. I'll just go get another cold card. I'll put that 24 key, those 24 words, I'll just insert it into the new cold card, and voila, access to my Bitcoin.
Because if it was on the cold card, then you breaking or losing your cold card would be everything.
Exactly. Right. So that stops people from taking like self-custody, as they think like, I have this little device and all my net worth is on this little device. What if somebody steals it? Bro, if they don't got the keys to your front door, you good. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you could just go get another cold card, put it in, or whoever uses similar software, you can just put your 24 words in, and then boom, you have access to your money. That's very powerful. That concept itself is very powerful. I can switch countries. I can go here. I can go there. I can do whatever and still have access to my money.
Governments, nobody can, unless they force it out of you or they crack your safe open where you store it. But if you have it stored correctly,
yeah,
and there's nothing the government or anybody can seize order on anything.
Yes,
you own it.
Now, with that being said, if my money is in Coinbase or my money is in OJ's exchange, and they are like, yo, freeze this shit, they gonna freeze your shit. Yeah. Why can they do that? Is because you don't own it.
Yeah.
So sometimes people are like, oh, the government sees people's Bitcoin stuff. You're like, yeah, go look at how they got to it. You know what I mean? Like, they just took it from you were using some random exchange or whatever. You know what I mean? But like actual self-custody, good luck with that. So that's using like taking self-custody, right? You can even take self-custody in a way where that device never even gets access to the internet, right? So if there's a device or a wallet sitting on the internet that's like a hot device or whatever. So when you take it off and it's not connected to the internet, it's cold storage, right? So it's not connected to the internet, which makes it less susceptible to hacks and attacks. Yeah. Right. So with that being said, there's single signature and multi-signature.
So wait, do you want to brush on them like a little more? Some people may not get the point where taking it off the internet.
You to talk to him about it.
So like, are you saying like taking it off the internet, like it's not connected, you don't have it plugged in, it's just
exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
It's very simple.
So just think of it like that.
Yeah,
like you don't have it connected anywhere on the internet. It's not plugged in. You're not.
It's not sitting in somebody's app. So it's kind of straightforward.
Okay.
Yeah, on the internet versus off the internet.
All right. Good.
All right. So anyway, where's that going? Single signature versus multi-signature, right? Or multi-sig. So let's say you have a cold card. I want to send 2 Bitcoin to OJ, right? I get my device. I put in my PIN. My PIN is me signing a transaction. The transaction is me from my address sending money to him in his address. Put my PIN in, that signs it. That was one signature, single signature. My 2 Bitcoin went to his address. That's the end of the transaction. Mm-hmm. Boom, single signature. So when you have like a cold card or a ledger or whatever, that's just single signature. Yeah. Right? Put in your PIN, put in the address, put in the PIN, boom. Now, multiple signature would be, think of it like a vault, or think of it like a vault, and there's multiple locks that need to be unlocked in order to move this Bitcoin. So let's say you have a 5-key vault, right? So you need 3 signatures out of 5 signatures. 5 signatures exist in total. Yeah. You need 3 of them to move the Bitcoin, right? So Unchained Capital and Casa are the 2 big companies that do these multi signatures, right? So your phone could be 1 signature. They will keep a key for you. They will keep, like one for you just in case you lose. And then you'll have 3 separate devices. These could be 3 different cold cards. This could be a cold card, a block, the Blockstream Jade, and a ledger, right? So anyways, there's 5 of these keys out there, and you need 3 of them, like I said. So if I wanted to send that 2 Bitcoin to OJ, then what ends up happening is they say, okay, sign it with 1 key. So I go get my ledger, 1 signature, sign it with the next key. Well, maybe this Bitcoin is stored with me and my business partner. Boom, another signature. And then I would use, I don't know, my phone or business phone that we may have or whatever. Anyways, there's 3 signatures, it moves. So you need majority of the signatures. You can have a 3-key vault, which means you need 2 signatures to move it, right? Now, for the people out there that have like family or have children or whatever, you can also have like a beneficiary. So imagine you have this 5-key vault and you're like, what happens if I die, right? So let's say your spouse needs to know, your spouse gets added as a beneficiary from Casa or Unchained or whatever. Mm-hmm. So what ends up happening is you add your spouse as a beneficiary, 1, and then 2, they need to know where one of those hardware wallets are. Mm-hmm. Okay, so they know where a hardware wallet is. They get added as a beneficiary. So whenever you die, they present your death certificate, or 6 months go by. So what happens is Casa or Unchained will try to contact you for 6 straight months. And if they can't, then they're like, all right, he's dead. Or if you bring the death certificate, right? So then what happens is this random encrypted code becomes a key, right? Because that you now have as the beneficiary. So you have the hardware wallet, you tell them where it is. Their encrypted code becomes a key to sign. And then Casa or Unchained will use their one key to sign. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right. So now you just have 3 keys and you can move all that Bitcoin.
It's so cool, like this whole intricate system to like store it yourself and like have it vaulted up here, or have my money offline, and like there's nothing anybody can do to take it away from me if I take it upon myself and store it correctly.
Yeah, exactly. So in this case, like I said, like, so if you have, you know, you tell your spouse where one of your cold cards are. So boom, she has a cold card. She submits your death certificate to Casa or Unchained Capital, and then they sign. They gonna go, you know, vouch for her identity or check her identity, all that stuff. Now they just moved all your Bitcoin. Dope, right? Or you use your brother or your sister or whatever. Another thing that's cool is a multi-sig. Let's say you have a safe in your house and you only have one of your devices in there. Somebody breaks in your house and they break into your safe. Okay, you got one. But the other one is in Africa somewhere. Facts. You're not taking my money.
In Africa.
Yeah, you're not taking my money. You know what I'm saying? So you can spread it out geographically. So therefore, you know, somebody breaking into your house or something, like you can just, you know, reduce that risk in the first place. Like, hey, there's nothing here, but if you were to get here, there's no money to be made. You're taking a risk. Your life and my life are at risk. You know what I'm saying? So that's the cool thing. But yeah, there's so many people who are building cool things in the Bitcoin world to keep people's wealth, you know, safe and secure or whatever. So man, like, did that help? Was that
good? Was good. I think that'll really answer people's questions so they stop asking that question. Even though I'm not annoyed people ask questions, that's always good, but just I feel like you really drilled it down there.
Yeah. So the 2 hardware wallets that I will vouch for are Treasure and Cold Card. Treasure, TREZOR, and Cold Card, right? You get these from the official website. So find their official social medias and go to their official sites. Don't buy one off of OfferUp, Craigslist, Amazon, none of that, right? Like you buy it from their official accounts. And then setting it up is very, very, very simple. Like, just imagine they have to make this shit simple. So then, like, if you could set up an iPhone, if you got an iPhone, you can set up a Cold Card. If you have a computer, a laptop, if you have an Instagram account, you could set up a damn Cold Card. You know what I'm saying? Like, write these 24, like, welcome. Write these 24 words down, but don't take a picture of them. Yeah. When they give you your 24 words, you don't take a picture of it, because if you take a picture, it goes in your iCloud and somebody hacks your iCloud, you're cooked. Right? So write these words down. All right. Reconfirm the word. Is the word number 1 picture? Yes. Is word number 2? What is it? Huggies. Cool. Word number 3. What is it? Bag. All right. Cool. Word number 4, couch. You just go through all 24 of them, and then boom. This is basically it. You're good. And then you go on, and actually we are going to make a video about this because I can walk y'all through this. But then you go on your Coinbase, and then you go to Bitcoin. Let's say you have one Bitcoin on Coinbase, right? And you go to Bitcoin, Coinbase, or you go to Coinbase, go to Bitcoin. What do you want to do with your Bitcoin? Send, receive, or buy? I want to send it. Where do you want to send it? Your Cold Card address, right? You're going to copy it, paste it into Coinbase. Boom. That's it. Copy and paste. It's easier to send Bitcoin than it is to send a Cash App. If you ever Cash App somebody, Venmo somebody, it's the same process. Copy and paste. But yeah, I hope that helps you guys.
Yeah, I think that's good. But we'll wrap up the episode there. What word should they say? And you know, this is like a shorter. I feel like it even ran still.
Yeah, we were trying to keep it short, but we yapped.
Yeah, but you know, next episode definitely be back to the more bigger time. We just needed to honor our word. Y'all did good with the 200 comments, so we back at it. This video, recording it, it's Tuesday. What is it? The 20 something, or it's Wednesday now. It's 26. We should have it out in the next 2 days. So
yeah,
you're gonna be watching this on a completely different day than what we.
So I like the whole concept. I hope you guys learn the concept of cold storage. So get you a hardware device. And don't trust none of these fucking exchanges because you don't know what the hell is going on those exchanges. So I like my Bitcoin on ice. I like my Bitcoin cold, right? I buy my Bitcoin I'll buy it on Swan. I'll buy it on Strike. I send it over to my self-storage, my self-custody. And that's it, man. So if y'all got to the end of this, Bitcoin on ice.
Well, I know you was gonna say that.
Bitcoin on ice, man. So we appreciate y'all for getting those 200 comments, and we'll make y'all another deal. Y'all do 300 comments in 24 hours, we'll drop again. Like we'll drop at the same rate that y'all blow our shit up. Yeah. So give us 300 comments 24 hours, and we'll respond within 2 days with another video. So let's get to it, man. So if you watch this full thing, Bitcoin on ice. Bitcoin's $86,000. We forgot to say that at the beginning of the episode. Mm-hmm. Don't be fucking scary. Oh yeah, let me tell you about the future. Look, check this out. In the future, I made this tweet in 2020, right? And I was like, people are living and enjoying their lives in 2020 based on what they were doing in 2010 and doing in 2015, right? Mm-hmm. The things that you were doing 5 and 10 years ago are like exactly where your life is right now, right? So if you're hurting, you're struggling, it's because the decisions you've been making for the last 5-10 years, right? But it's the same thing right now. The people who are living good right now is because of the decisions they were making in the past. I want y'all to look at 2030 like, hey, my life's going to be completely different by 2030. However much money you have in the bank, multiply it by 50. You know what I mean? Like, whatever car you have, go get the top. You're going to be driving the top of that. Wherever you sit on the plane, you're going to the front. Wherever you vacation, 5-star. Everything could be possible if you just grind, stay consistent, do the knowledge for the next 5 years. And your life will be drastically better in 5 years. And then in 10 years, so in 2035, your life will be even more drastically better from there. Now, here's the catch. Whether you take care of business or not, 2030 is coming. Whether you take care of business or not, 2035 is coming. The same way when you were fucking off in 2020 or in 2015, whether you took care of business or not, 2025 came. You got what I'm saying? So, like, look at this as a brand new opportunity. Like, hey, I'm on some new shit. That means you got to, rearrange what you're watching on the internet, what you're reading, like the information you share, who you hanging out with, what y'all doing. Like, I hang out with this dude every day, man. We just talk about Bitcoin, learn, play basketball, work out. I hang out with my family. I hang out with my friends. You know what I mean? Like, it's a simple life, but it's beautiful because you get to do what you want to do, like, and you get to live, like, high quality with high quality people. Don't forget the high quality people part of it. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people who are from where you from, they're not going where you going. And those people, they just got to be reserved for, like, these are my basketball friends. Mm-hmm. I ain't taking no trips with them. These are my basketball friends. You know what I mean? Or these my friends when it's time to, I don't know, sit around and joke about dumb stuff. But you build high quality friendships, you launch high quality businesses. You just live a life of quality, and you got to set the standard for your own life, man. So, rant complete, man. You got anything to say?
Nah, I'm good with that.
All right, man. We out.
All right.
300 of them. Bitcoin on ice.